Okay.
but it's more streamlined. Like I feel like would it make sense if I said Shovel Knight's kind of oh no, it is roguelike. That's exactly what it is. It's less roguelike and more like platformer, kind of difficult.
Shovel Knight's not um Shovel Knight's not uh roguelike.
I say roguelike in the sense of when you die, you leave your stuff and you can pick it up.
Well, that's not what roguelike means.
Roguelike
So
isn't roguelike when you die, you start over?
that's Dark Souls esque. Roguelike, okay, when you're talking about roguelike, you're talking about like procedural generation.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
it,
Yeah, that's not okay. Yeah.
yeah.
I was sitting there
At
thinking
least
like
the general zeitgeist, that's what it means, is
like
that, yeah.
yeah, Has Been Heroes I thought was roguelike. Because I don't think Has Been Heroes is. I didn't play Has Been Heroes. Anyway, it's basically a fun platformer, but the music is really cool. And one of the things it does is it starts out as an 8-bit game, and then as you progress through the game, you'll go through like a 16-bit phase. But the merchant, that you have a merchant that you like upgrade from, he's fucking hilarious. Like it's like if Deadpool was the merchant because he breaks the fourth wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's very entertaining. That's almost more fun than Celeste, to be honest.
Ooh. That's a try. That's a high bar. So I'm looking at it right now. I mean, it looks pretty damn cool.
The music is really really good. Like I remember hearing Anthony saying, "Oh my god, the music's fantastic," and I was like, "Okay, sure, whatever." But it's actually like it bangs.
Yeah. I mean, my biggest problem with this and like literally every other fucking game is just like, why do they all have to be 8-bit? Like, I get it. It's like we're going back to a time that we really enjoyed or whatever, but it's like, why does all of them have to be 8? Like, I'd rather see them do something interesting rather than, okay, let's just do 8-bit.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
does
because I
play with
feel
the
like
formula a lot. Like it feels like a modern 8-bit game. Like
well, right, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. It's
I
just
picked it
it's
up on sale
so
for
many.
$13, and if you can swing the 13, if it's on, I don't know if it's on sale on Switch. I don't know if it's on sale on PS4.
Yeah,
But it's definitely if you
uh,
get it for sale or for PS Plus, it's definitely worth playing.
yeah. I don't know. I look at it and it's like it does look really cool, but it's also just like I don't know. I'm not those kind of games. It's really hard to grab me
I get that.
because I don't know. Like I don't necessarily play a game for graphics, you know, but it also would just really help for me to enjoy the way it looks. You know, and for me, it's just 8-bit just doesn't look good. I mean, people are like, oh my God, the gorgeous 8-bit graphics. It's like, all right, you realize we moved on for a reason, right? It's like,
Yeah, it's the aesthetic is cool. The gameplay is what's hooking me.
right. And it definitely looks cool, especially like from what I saw, like you like being able to like, it's not really looks like you can double jump, but like you can like
You have
look
like
like there was like a whip or something.
you have like
And
like little light lamp things, and when you
yeah,
hit them, you get tokens out of them to upgrade
right.
skills. But you also can like if you hit it and jump at the same time, it gives you additional air.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's sort of what I meant. So, yeah, it didn't look like there was a double jump, but it did look like there was a lot of that going on. So, I mean, like, that's obviously really good as far as like level design and making it interesting or whatever. And then I saw a little bit where it's like you're going through certain like portals or whatever, but it's
The
like,
com-
okay, now,
the
yeah, I
comedy
don't
the
know.
comedy of it's your comedy for sure. Like one of the first times you meet the merchant, he like gives you this long. One of the things he said is like, You're literally dumb if you think that you're gonna get that much exposition when the first time you meet me." And then he says this long drawn out thing, and the messenger character, the main character, is like, "Okay, that was way too much for a text dialogue box." And then it's just like dot 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 dot. Okay, now get out of here.
Do I have to read it?
What?
Do I have to read the messenger?
I mean, there's no dialogue like recorded.
Huge downsize for me.
Hmm.
Like
I
I am I am supremely ADD nowadays. Like when I was
quick to read. I'll just put that out there.
Yeah, still just reading in general. Like I don't read anything in video games nowadays. It's like that's not what I play video games for. Like if you want to have an interesting story, then have an interesting story. But like for me, I don't read like at all, And it's like even going back to when we played like Resident Evil 0 and how you actually do have to read some of the stuff, it was fucking agonizing for me because I'm like, oh yeah, back in the 90s when I actually read, back in the 90s, I didn't mind reading or whatever. I don't know why, but I just didn't. And so nowadays, like, I just don't like reading. I do not like the act of, having to stop everything and read. And I think a big part of it has to do with the fact that I'm just not like a really fast reader. So for me, what should take, let's say you're reading a document in Resident Evil, because that's the perfect example of just literally stopping and looking at something. Something that would normally take someone a minute probably takes me 2 to 3 minutes. It just depends on how, and that's even, sometimes I feel like that's even me speed reading and not reading every single line and just trying to get the gist of it. And so it's just, like I'm not stupid, but at the same time, it's just like, I just don't like it. It's just a huge turnoff for me when a game makes me read. Because then if I don't read, I miss a lot. Or I don't know what to do next. But it's like that's just not how I want anything. That's not how I want my story given to me. I feel like we've made so much progress in making video games that it's quaint and it's nice, but it's just not for me. I do not like reading whatsoever.
So 2 things interesting that popped up today. One of them was Anna Kendrick didn't remember that she was in a Twilight movie. That was very funny.
What?
Anna Kendrick tweeted out. Anna Kendrick legitimately tweeted out today and was like, "Wow, I totally forgot I was in a Twilight movie."
Not a Twilight movie, like 2 or 3, right?
No, she said, "Holy shit, I just remembered I was in Twilight." Also, Battlefield 5 is already on sale.
Yeah, so it's 76.
Yeah, it's
on Steam or like for like Cyber Monday or something.
So it's $30 at Target, and
God damn.
GCU it's $33, and it comes with a steelbook.
God. Oh, steelbook? Those are usually like 70, aren't they?
No, this is it's a promotional steelbook. So,
okay.
So
I'm like, damn.
Like for example.
God damn it! Don't do stuff.
Like this one. This one was a pre-order. This one was a pre-order bonus from GameStop. And so it's just
that's Terminator. What's the Battlefield?
It's similar. It's
that's Terminator.
No, like if you listen to Battlefield 3, it's like it's more like distorted.
I gotta hear it now. We're gonna have a nice long beginning for everybody who's listening, or I mean watching, should I say?
Yeah, so it's just real. It's real simple. It's kind of like this.
Battlefield, because obviously, like Battlefield 1 is when they started to.
Yeah. Actually, no, it's 4 because I just bought 4 again recently.
Battlefield 3 song. I want to hear it. Give it to me now. For some reason, I'm just drawing a blank, even though I play the ever-living fuck out of that game.
Just type in.
I'm just drawing a blank.
I think they're similar, but Battlefield 4 is definitely.
Quiet on set. I gotta hear. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, when it gets going, like, yeah, okay. But it's just that, like, especially Battlefield, like, if I would type in Battlefield 4, I'm pretty sure it got a lot more terminating because we got a lot more, like, staccato or whatever. Or staccato. Sorry.
Yeah, that would sound right. I'm going to record the podcast like this.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Well, I mean, it'd be you and then a giant ass circle that just goes. Oh my god. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, hold on. Gotta. Oh yeah, see, it gets a lot more bassy in 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. Beep 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 beep. Oh, psych, dude, too much. Oh man, and see, that was an original song, wasn't it?
I think
And then
so.
like Battlefield, in my opinion, Battlefield 4, honestly, let's be honest, like Battlefield 4 wasn't that great, but then Battlefield 1 was definitely when they stopped they just stopped fucking caring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like so
No, I
that
still
so
think
instead of
Battlefield-
coming up with their own fucking song, they're just like, oh, let's just get, White Stripes. There we go.
I still say Battlefield. Are you talking about themes or just the game in general?
The theme. Well, in general as well. They stopped fucking caring about like they stopped caring about the legacy of Battlefield. So instead of keeping their theme and maybe making it unique for the next entry, they're just like, White Stripes, they're popular now, right? You know what I mean?
That's a dope remix, though.
That's
by
like
the glitch
not to lessen the remix of it, but it's still somebody else's creation. Whereas that theme song like gets me psyched. It makes me want to go back and play Battlefield 3. But if I heard dun, 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 I either want to watch G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Well, it's kind of the same thing with I think it also comes down to the marketing, because like anytime I hear "Till I Collapse" by Eminem, I think of that awesome Modern Warfare 2 commercial.
Oh no shit, right?
Yeah, and so I think like now that's become synonymous, which I really like, because I heard that song a long time ago, and when I heard that on the trailer, I was like, that fits fucking perfectly. Till I collapse, so spitting these raps as long as you feel. Yeah, I love.
I love that they started off like really slow and then just like showing like random like screens and stuff. Because then they like build up the strings in the background, like.
That's something I always thought was cool. They kept that Eminem thing going with Infinity Ward through up until Ghosts. You know, because Survival was really dope too.
Poor Eminem. I mean, like when he, what was it? Was it Infinite Warfare or was it? It might have been Ghost. It might have been
the
Ghost.
Survival. This is Survival.
Yeah, but I remember him. He wasn't on stage, but he was like at the reveal, and he did a video right before revealing his song or whatever. And to me, it just seems so phoned in. Like he was just like, yeah, they paid me to do this, and here it is.
In the music video, it's a lot of Ghosts logos. So yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's my point, is that like, you know, he had a song synonymous with an awesome fucking game, and then they kept it going, but then by Ghost, it's like they probably gave him a chance to play the game, and he's just like, how much are you paying me? Yeah, it's a cool game.
Yeah, like they had Won't Back Down for Black Ops 1. I remember that commercial was really good. And that one was
that one. Give me some verses. Give me some bars.
You can sound the alarm, you can hold on the call, but I won't back down.
Yeah,
that was dope. Yeah,
That one was good too. And I didn't really like Modern Warfare 3 other than their like survival mode,
What was
which of
Modern
course
Warfare
was
3?
what everybody fucking hated. Like, go fuck yourself, you stupid.
I miss
little
Spec Ops.
Suck motherfuckers. Well, not Spec Ops. I like their survival or whatever.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I miss this like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. I miss their Spec Ops like little like challenge missions, and then the survival.
I feel like if they would have actually gone into it or whatever, I feel like it could have gone somewhere. What I miss is Extinction, their alien version.
Yeah.
Like that was freaking awesome. And considering that their next fucking entry was in space, I'm like, well, sweet. They're going into space. Obviously, they're going to bring back Extinction, but they went from space to 1980s Hoffman. Like, what the fuck? It's like it was so, and I guarantee you that it was probably Activision. Activision saw money signs because they're like, oh, everybody likes zombies. You know, a couple of people on the internet didn't like, you know, aliens, even though they very well could have just made it their own damn thing. You know what? I have a whole fucking video about why I think they should do their own thing. I don't retread old ground. Let's go ahead and get started.
Okay.
I'm mad. I want my Extinction back.
16 minutes in.
16? Seriously?
Yeah.
Motherfucker. That's good 16 minutes for you people. This is bonus premium bonus content for you right here. Right where? Right here. Right here.
I like you do that right there.
And 17. Okay. I was waiting for 17 so I can actually start my timer or whatever. Okay. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Nerd to the Third episode. Who the hell knows, because it's all out of order. This is our Christmas episode. It is. We've recorded so much out of order. I don't even know what this technically would be. I mean, I guess it would be the third episode of the, so that'd make it
22 because we had 21.
No, see, you're this is the third week in December, not the first episode that we're putting up in December.
Oh, fuck me.
See? So it's actually more like 24 or something. That'll be the title. Welcome to episode 24.
Yeah, 25.
Well, it is coming out on the 24th, I think. So, I mean, maybe that's fitting. So, anyways, Christmas. Christmas. Hey, man. Merry Chrysler. Anyways, today is our Christmas special, so it's going to be all balls to the wall and just everywhere. There's going to be no rhyme
or reason.
There you go.
Took me a second.
Oh, my goodness. So, December has been a weird month for us. We're not actually here. We're just spending time with our family, and we're taking a break from podcasting. We should still have some random things up here and there on YouTube, but we're taking the month off, and it's all for a good reason, because we are going to be coming back with a vengeance. We're talking videos. We're talking podcasts. We're talking
porn.
Other Whoa. That was supposed to be a surprise. Okay.
A lot of this. A lot of this.
Oh, yeah.
Some of that. One of the scenes from Pineapple Express that still stick out to me is the fucking first scene in the movie when he was like, "Your dick, my mouth." Oh, we're talking about dicks on Christmas.
Yeah, dicks on Christmas. Hey, it's called a Christmas pickle for something.
A pickle, Rick.
You know, there's actually a German. It's a German tradition to have a Christmas pickle, apparently. So, like, I should know that because I'm part German or whatever.
I think there's an episode of The Office that was like that.
Oh yeah, Christmas pickle.
No, it was Dwight Schrute was doing his like either German or Schrute Christmas, and it was a very terrifying Santa Claus.
It's a Festivus for the rest of us.
Sure.
Oh man. So I mean, this episode's pretty much just going to be a bunch of open discussion topics. So anything that we want to talk about, we can talk about. What do you want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about things we don't want to get on Christmas.
What do we not want to get on Christmas?
Well, no, actually, let's talk about this. So, as a kid, what did you hate getting for Christmas?
Clothes, obviously.
But what do you want for Christmas now as an adult?
I do not want clothes.
Here's the thing.
I think that's where you're trying to go, but it's like you might just be a weird nerd with glasses and a beard.
Here's the thing: is
you need to be clothed because you're so goddamn poor.
I used to get socks for Christmas whenever I was a kid. I hated it. I want it now. Like I love socks. Like there's specific kinds, but like there's a company called. I just have. It's cold. It's cold in Texas right now, so.
It's cold everywhere else.
So let me see.
Ooh.
So I'm just wearing like thermal socks. But no, there's a pair of there's a company called Stance that make really high quality socks, and I have like 3 pairs of them, and I love them. So it's one of the things like, and I even told like everyone, I was like, hey, you can still get me a bunch of cool shit for Christmas, but I need underwear. Like someone please buy me underwear for Christmas.
I need some unmentionables. Come get me some underwear.
See, I kind of want a pair of MeUndies underwear, but they're super expensive.
They're not sponsored. Be careful.
I know. I want them, but they're like
$15
a pair.
Right. That's because they're so nice and they're That's where the sponsorships come in.
I would rather have someone spend like $20 on getting me a video game than $20 on a pair of underwear.
Well, I'd rather get $20 and get like 20 pieces of underwear.
Yeah.
But then I have 20 weeks of underwear, and then I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'll just put them inside out now.
Oh, it's so fucking gross. So fucking gross. Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine? There are people like that. There are fucking people like that like they'll just wear it like well, here's the funny thing about me. Here's a nice little dirty detail. I don't wear underwear. I wanted like let's go back. Free balling. Yeah, like let's go back in time. I wanted like when did I start? I want to say when I stopped living with my parents. I don't know, like for some reason that's what my mind's going towards. Is when I stopped living with my mom and or dad because, divorced family. I think that's when I stopped wearing underwear. When I was out on my own, I'm like, you know what, Mom? Fuck your underwear. Okay, I don't have to go by your rules anymore. I'm a man, and men don't have to wear underwear.
So here's the thing. I guess it's personal preference, but I like the support. Like I like having.
Well, see, I guess my balls are just so goddamn big that even if I have loose shorts on, which almost always I have loose shorts on because like I just don't like something being up against my balls or whatever. And so even then, if I still have that and then like really nice loose boxers or something, I just don't like the constraint, So it's definitely is like a preference kind of thing. Some people just can't stand it. Like even like right now, I'm wearing shorts, and the way that I'm sat, it's like almost like a thong going up my penis.
This Christmas episode is taking a fucking turn right now. Dear God.
Oh man. I mean, there's I think the only time nowadays that I wear boxers when that is literally the only thing I'm wearing. And, it's the weekend. I'm not going to go anywhere for the rest of the day or whatever. And I'm like, I just take everything off and just put on boxers. And even then they have to be very loose boxers. They have to be loosey goosey because it's just, I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is about my balls. It's just that when something's touching them, I feel it. And I'm just like, no.
So like I have a personal
So you
thing
like
where
the cradle? You like it when it
I
goes
do like the cradle, but for like when it comes to like pants and stuff, like I guess because I was a bigger child, but I didn't get smaller until I was out of high school, basically. Well, kind of. Anyway,
When did you get
so
smaller?
uh, so
You
um,
actually almost answered it. Like, actually, you fuck
yeah,
you.
no, so, like I always wore like relaxed fit or like loose fit jeans, and now I can't stand it. So like I
Yeah.
wear like slim straights, and like for example, I had a pair of like cargo pants that I wear for work, and I hated after an 2 hours of wearing them, they would get so loose, and so like I just went and bought new pants. I like the not the constraint, but I don't know, like it makes me feel more comfortable for, and that could just be a mental thing of like when I wear something loose, I feel like it makes me look bigger and like I think it's a
I
subconscious thing, to
get
be
that.
honest.
Yeah, I can understand that. I don't like I don't like wearing certain shirts if they don't fall on me just right because
Yeah.
I'm a bigger guy. I have a couple of extra pounds. I don't know where they went, but I wish I could lose them like my keys that I do or my wallet. Phone, wallet, keys. Phone, wallet, keys. Have you heard that one?
I haven't.
Oh, it's Adam Sandler put out a new comedy thing, which I didn't really like. Honestly, I didn't really
Interesting.
like it because it was just it. I don't know. I guess like I always knew that Adam Sandler sung a lot in a lot of his like comedy things, but in this particular one, like I'd say anywhere from like 85 to 95% of the entire comedy special was just him doing one funny song after another. And at least from what I can remember, when he used to do stand up, he had a segment where he did songs, but it wasn't his entire, set. His entire set wasn't just song after song after song, at least from what I can personally remember. I mean, I could have my nostalgia glasses on and I don't remember it correctly, but yeah, I didn't really care for it. But that's one song that I absolutely love from his special. He goes to this whole thing. I suggest, anybody who hasn't seen it, you can just YouTube it. So go for it and like maybe Adam Sandler phone wallet keys or something like that. It's pretty funny, so it's like, and it's not even that the songs weren't funny. I guess I wasn't really expecting it. And I was like, well, I actually just want to, I don't know, maybe I'm going to try to revisit it and maybe like it'll grow on me. Because I'm definitely one of the people out there who actually do like Adam Sandler. Like, oh my God, there's so much hate for Adam Sandler. And it's probably because he wears boxer shorts.
That's probably what it is. He probably likes
he likes free balling and just people don't like him for that reason. I mean, we probably just lost like so many subscribers because they're like, oh my God, he probably likes it.
Oh my God, Nick's talking about his balls.
Moist.
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 So, little random side note, this is going to be time capsuled. Did you see that Red Dead's Online is being launched today and it has Battle Royale with bows and knives?
Oh, really?
Yep.
So they're launching with it? That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Like
okay, how do you do a Battle Royale? Is it like a flying Pegasus and you jump off of it? Or is it just you're on a map and you just go?
I feel like Western Battle Royale could be cool. Like I feel like
right.
if they do it right.
Is it technically Battle Royale if it's just you go see, because like I feel like a key feature in any battle royale, whether you're jumping out of a bus or you're jumping out of a plane or in H1Z1, at least on the PlayStation, I don't know how it works on the PC, but on the PlayStation, it literally just picks a spot on the map randomly, which I kind of don't like about it on the PlayStation version. I want to say there's a plane on the PC version. Somebody in the comments, please tell me if I'm wrong or not. But in the PlayStation version of H1Z1, if you remember, because you played it too, it just picks a random ass spot on the map and you just drop. And like what I hate about that is like Battle Royale is already a randomized piece of garbage. I'm sorry. It's already so random whether or not where you drop will have what you want. If you go to highly populated areas, you might have a better chance at like an orange gun or whatever you want to call it, whether it's an orange gun or a gold gun in a Blackout. But like, there are some people like me, for instance, I'm a survivalist. So I'd much rather survive until it's the top,
Yeah.
20, 15, and then start going Slayer.
So
that's how I won my first game. Was I waited until there's about a certain amount of people. Actually, you got to use my like RC card and stuff, so it was kind of cool because I like saw where somebody was. I'm like, okay, I see you, and so I know to at least look in that direction when the circle starts getting smaller, and it definitely helped.
I wonder what it'll be, because like in Blackout, contextually it makes sense. You've got like a swarm of these helicopters.
Convoy,
convoy. So like maybe it would be like
maybe it's a train.
That's what
maybe that would be kind of cool, like a train. Cool. And then you like jump out whenever you want. But see, okay, so the biggest problem with a Red Dead Battle Royale is the same reason that H1Z1 sucks on the console. Is that when you're randomized, you could be randomized over a cabin in the woods, or you can be randomized over a fucking city, And so in a city, you at least have like, let's say 20 places that you can go and you can loot. But if you happen to spawn over a lake or something, it's like, okay, I have like 2 or 3 spots I can go. If it doesn't have something that I like, I'm screwed. And so the same thing could carry over into Red Dead, where obviously you're not going to parachute. Why the hell would you parachute in a cowboy simulator? You know what I mean? So if you're just spawned on a random spot and then you're just supposed to run to the nearest spot, I just don't know how that's going to work. I mean, to me, that doesn't sound like a battle royale. That sounds like a last man standing, and there is a big difference, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I'm watching some gameplay for it, and from MK Ice and Fire, and the caption is Red Dead Redemption 2 Online Battle Royale Throwing Knives gameplay, and this mode is called Make It Count. And so you have knives, and using throwing knives, be the last man standing. So that may be the difference. Yeah. Now it does have shrinking areas, so I don't know.
Yeah, to me that just sounds like last man standing, because I mean there is a key component in a battle royale, and to me that's dropping onto a map. You know what I mean? And I just feel like,
yeah, so it started out with him just spawning into a place.
See, yeah, and so I guess that's maybe, even if you don't drop into a map, I feel like a key component has to be that you choose where to go.
And this is also
that's the thing about Fortnite and Blackout, is that you can choose where you go.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just, like I said, if you spawn randomly, that's when it's like super unfair, because somebody could spawn right next to a crate and have a really good chance at a really good gun, And then from the sounds of it, if it's just throwing knives, yeah, that's definitely just last man standing. Yes, but they're calling it battle royale to get a couple extra hits or something.
Yeah. So in this one, you start out, I think, with 8. Like it's 8 players.
Oh yeah. So it's way.
Yeah.
Just checking in. Love you and hope all is well. Who the fuck is that? Is that you? Are you texting me?
No, I was gonna say that's probably your wife.
Oh. It's my mom. It's random ma. Anyways, yeah, that will be super time capsuled. I might even
cut that out.
That'll just be extra for the people who are listening or whatever.
Or yeah, whatever.
Well, because that's just super time capsuled. Yeah. Like, nothing against you, buddy. I love you.
Well, I just saw it, and it's making a lot of fucking news right now.
Or should say fucking. Don't ever say fucking, okay?
King.
I don't know how to bleep that. do I do the F and then let the king part in?
King. Yeah, I guess so.
Audacity needs to have, and I mean, maybe Adobe Premiere or whatever, you're gonna have to do some research. I wonder if there's like an auto bleep somewhere out there that I can do, because it would be so much easier to just auto bleep stuff and then like keep going on with our fucking lives.
Yeah. Well, so what do you want to talk about for Christmas?
What do you want to talk about for Christmas? I feel like the show's going perfect. We don't need to change it.
This is like the most weekly grind in 3 episode I think we've ever done. Because we're just fucking talking about nonsense right now.
Yep, nonsense.
I feel like we should, because we're gonna label this as a Christmas episode. I feel like okay, so we could probably call this Christmas nonsense, and that would maybe cover that. But I feel like we should talk about something that's kind of related to Christmas.
Fine. Sorry, I'm adjusting my mic. All right, so Christmas. What was the thing we were just talking about? Oh, what we don't want for Christmas.
Yeah.
So back to that. Yeah, I'm not a type of person who wants clothes for Christmas, even as an old fogey with me. And I'm older than you, you dipshit. Like, I have to say something. Like,
yeah, I'm 22.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like what I don't like about clothes is almost 100% of the time nobody understands, like, apparently understands what I like. Like one year, God bless her, my mother like got me just a bunch of shirts, and of course her excuse, quote unquote, was that, oh, I saw it and it made me think of you. And I'm like, okay, but one of them was a South Park, and it's not that I don't like South Park, it's just that I don't personally watch that. That's just not something I watch. You know, I don't have access to Comedy Central on a regular basis, so it's just not something I watch on a regular basis. Like, I've seen episodes, but it's, yeah, I don't know. It's just not something I watch. So her getting me a Cartman thing was just like, okay, cool, I guess.
Right.
Like, but on the other hand, like, my wife's mom actually asks Ashley what she should get me. And the last couple of years, Ashley just told her, well, just give him like a GameStop card or a PlayStation Network card.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's perfect. Like,
my mother-in-law has been like the MVP. Like last year, she got me the gold edition of Assassin's Creed Origins with the steelbook.
God
and
damn.
I was like, fucking shout out. But this woman also doesn't know how to be cheap. Like, she spends money like it's nothing.
Yeah, I wish I had a relative, you know, whether it be
I'm not saying she's wealthy. I'm just saying she doesn't know how to fucking buy cheap.
Well, right, but I'm just saying I just wish I had a relative that did the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, like, I think the most I've gotten from them is like $50 worth of stuff. But even then, like, I got a network card that was like 20, and then something else that might have also been worth 20 or something like that. So it's like they definitely don't, you know, which is obviously not a bad thing, because when I get 20 from them and like 20 from somebody else, you know, it obviously adds up or whatever. And so that's what don't threaten me.
You know, this is from when I had Chick-fil-A the other day and I had a salad. Why the fuck do you give a knife with salad?
In case you want to cut up the chicken. Okay?
The chicken's already cut up.
Yeah, maybe you like them in smaller pieces. Think of other people, Nate.
Well, yeah, that would be my mother. My mother, this is going to sound very weird, but she's got a very small mouth. So anytime we
Why would you know this?
Okay, so anytime we go out and eat sushi, like, I could just eat a piece of a roll, no problem. This is her when she eats sushi. She's like biting, like eating chunks off of it, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Well, see, yeah, that just seems like a weird quirk rather than her literally having a small mouth.
She does have a small mouth. Like, she can't put the whole sushi roll in her mouth.
Well, right, but it just, like, the way you're describing.
Well, no, she's like, she'll like anyway, whatever. Fuck nice salads.
Christmas.
This is legitimately Christmas nonsense.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
So what about like what was your best Christmas gift of all time?
Oh man. Of all time.
Or at least the one that made like the biggest impact. Or I guess maybe not impact, but obviously that's the one you remember.
The two, so I have, like typically, I don't have just one, I have two.
Well, yeah, right.
So the two that I remember that stand out the most is I think it was Christmas of 2006.
Mhm.
2006, 2007 was whenever the Wii came out.
Oh, okay.
And this was whenever the Wiis were sold out. Like no one could get a Wii. And I wanted a Wii so bad. And
Mom, give me a Wii.
I remember
What the hell is a Wii?
I remember like my mom and dad telling me beforehand, hey, we can't find that. Like we're trying to get that for you, but we can't find it. And I'm like, okay. And so
fine, Mom.
And so I remember so my dad and I love to play pranks on each other. So just to set the stage, there was one year where my dad started balding like maybe when I was 5. So he would have patchy hair sometimes, and then sometimes he would just shave it all off. Yeah. And so I'd always make fun of him for being bald. So there's one year that I got him a big box, and then when he opened it, it was a canister of turtle wax and a rag. And so we would just do like small stuff like that. And so this year, I'm opening up presents, and I remember I opened up a copy of Lego Star Wars for the Wii, and I was like, did you give me a Wii? And so I opened up another game. It was another Wii game. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you got me a Wii.
Yeah, right.
And so finally I see a box, and I'm like, I know what this is. And I unwrap it, and it's a Wii box. And I was like so excited. I was like, yay. I open up the box. I look inside, immediately filled with dread because it's full of dirty socks and underwear. And so so here's the thing. They don't pull it out until after every other present's opened. And so they did like a Christmas Story kind of thing. So they waited until everything else was done. I'm an only child, so it was just me and my parents. And and so like towards the end, and it was like, oh, I think there's one more thing. And then from behind the Christmas tree pulled out the insides that were in the Wii box. And it turns out a buddy of ours had won it from a church thing. And he was like, well, I don't have any kids. And so he gave it to my dad. But just the fact if you fucking put dirty underwear in the box and then gave it to me. So that was a real good memory. And then another one was I had shortly, like in the summer, I'd gotten an Xbox 360 for I think it was like 2011 whenever Modern Warfare 2 came out. I had gotten one earlier that year. And so one of the things I really wanted was Modern Warfare 2. And so I was like, cool. And so I remember I opened my presents, and it was the Prestige Edition, the one that came with the night vision goggles. Oh, and I don't remember if I specifically asked for that one. I don't think I did. I may have. Okay. I may have said, oh, that was cool. But that's actually one of my favorite collector's editions that I have because the box was super cool. It came with a really awesome steel book with an art book. And then I still have it. And then the night vision goggles were super
the viewers.
Cool. Huh?
Show the viewers.
1 second.
I'll mark it so that we can cut it out.
I actually had to buy another version.
See, this is where it pays to be a viewer. See, because now you can actually see stuff.
For some reason, it's super dusty in my room, and I'm not really sure why. But so I actually on eBay I bought another copy of like the steelbook because the one I had was really rusted. But one of my favorite steelbooks, just because it's super cool.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Art book. Art books I didn't think I'd really like, but something about them are just really like interesting and cool. And I remember the box. The box specifically was like super. It's kind of like how people talk about the PSVR box.
Yeah,
like how it's kind of angular. Yeah, it was kind of like that. And then the night vision goggles. Like I said, it's super dusty in my room. I don't know why, but it's super dusty. I I have no idea why. But yeah, no, this was super cool. And
Does
so
it feel like heavy when you put it on? Because it looks
no,
like it had a
they're
huge-
really lightweight. I mean, there's the
okay.
batteries are in the back part,
Yeah.
and so that's kind of
It
heavy.
gives you a tuma.
It gives you a tuma, but it was cool because they actually really worked, and I remember
Yeah.
thinking that was super cool. But and then I remember I stayed up that night and beat the campaign. Like I stayed up like 6 hours and I beat the campaign, and that was a really cool. That was a really good memory I have. Just and that makes me think back to like Christmases of like, oh, you get a game and stay up all night and play it. And,
Yeah.
and I remember used to, doing that. And I remember doing that like years later, going to like midnight releases for Call of Duty and staying up and playing that.
Yeah.
So those are probably my two favorite Christmas memories that I can think of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the probably the biggest ones that sticks to my mind personally is when I got my PlayStation. What makes me a Sony guy and what makes me like a Sony fanboy or whatever is the fact
Sony
that
bunny.
Yep. Is the fact that the PlayStation was the first console that was actually like mine. At the time, my brother probably was like 17 and a half, getting really close to 18. Not only that, but he had his own job. And so by then he already had a Nintendo 64. So I did have a certain attachment to Nintendo. Like I knew of all like Zelda and obviously I played anybody who was alive during that point. They played Mario. But it's just, it was never really like, since we didn't have the system, it was hard to get attached to it. And then even like the 64, like I could only play it if he wasn't there, and since obviously I had school, like anytime I was home, he was probably home, so like it just didn't work out. So the PlayStation was the first time that I got a console, and it was basically mine. Even though it was mine and my brother's, by then my brother was getting old enough that he was going to be out of the house, and it's not like he was going to take the PlayStation with him. So it was my very first console, and it was the very first one that I was the primary person who played on it. And so that's why to this day I have this attachment to the PlayStation and Sony in general, is because it was my first one.
Yeah.
And so the reason obviously that sticks in my head is because now like I don't just play video games for the heck of it. It's more of a lifestyle for me. Some people like to, watch movies, and so they go to the movies every weekend or something like that. They're really into that. Some people are really into the lifestyle of football or something like that. So if they have a college team in their city, like I do, I have BSU in my city, they might go to like every game they can. They get season tickets or something like that. And that's a lifestyle for them. Every time that year, that's a lifestyle for them. But for me, like video games, it's not a hobby. That's why I get kind of defensive in it. If anybody ever calls it a hobby, quote unquote, it's like, it's not really a hobby for me. It is a lifestyle. I'm choosing to live the life of a gamer.
So that's going back to, you talking about being a PlayStation guy. That's something that's, and I don't think this is like uncommon. Like I think this is pretty common, but for me, I've always been like basically platform agnostic. Like one of the first modern consoles that I owned was a PlayStation 1.
Okay, cool.
My dad and I, we had
not even the original PlayStation, but the PlayStation 1.
What's the difference?
Well, there's the big square monstrosity, and then the PlayStation 1 was the mini version.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I did have the mini version. Yeah, that's the one I had.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So
I eventually got that, but yeah, that was when it came out or whatever.
Prior to that, I mean, my dad and I had a Sega Genesis that we played a lot.
Okay.
But like if you go back and look at my console history, like it's kind of all over the place. But like I had this PlayStation when we moved from California, and then when we moved to the town that I grew up in, basically, I still had it. And then this was back whenever you couldn't turn it off. Like, I didn't have a memory card, so I couldn't turn the game off.
Oh God.
And so one day I went to school. I that morning I was playing Ace Combat.
Okay.
and I left it on, and then I got home and it didn't want to turn on. Like it ceased to work. Like it completely broke. And so my mom, she was like, we'll take you to Walmart and we'll go get you something. I was like, okay, cool. And so I had the option between choosing.
I want it now.
I had an option between choosing a GameCube, a PS2, or an Xbox. And keep in mind, this was me whenever I was like 6 or 7. We're at the store and I'm looking around. She was like, well, which one you can get whichever one you want. Which one do you want? And I was looking, I was like, well, that GameCube's cheaper. Let's just get that. And my mom was like, huh, okay. And I loved it. I loved my GameCube.
Are you part Jewish? Hey, Mom, are we gonna eat the?
I don't think so. But no, I love my GameCube. I love playing Sunshine, F-Zero GX. I loved all those games. I really, really did love that GameCube. And then I didn't get a PS2 until like one summer when the Slims had been out for like a year. So I got I got a Slim, and I loved that. And then what did I get next? I think I got a Wii next. I think that's what it was. I got a Wii. Again, loved the Wii. Played it all the time. And then I remember a buddy of mine who lived down the road. We traded consoles at one point because he wanted to play the Wii and I wanted to play 360.
Nice.
And so shortly after that, I got. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember getting a console for Christmas. No, I got a Xbox 360 Elite. I think that same year. So I got that. Really enjoyed it. And then I had a buddy who had a PS3, and I was like, that's cool. And then his dad had a PS3 that he barely played, and so he gifted that to me. But this was probably 2010, maybe 2009.
Yeah.
And so there for a while, I had an Xbox 360 and a PS3. And then I saved up my own money and bought a PS4 when it came out. Nice. So I've never really stuck to a specific console. Like at one point I had a one and a PS4, but I had to sell my one. And so now I have a Switch and a PS4 because I can't justify buying an Xbox right now. But I have always found that interesting. And I guess if you trace it back, I am a PlayStation gamer because I grew up on PS2 and on PS1. Like I played Ratchet and Clank fucking religiously. And like I played all these games and I love those consoles, but I've never had one that I actually like stuck to. I was like, oh yeah, this is the one. Because like and I think everyone could say that the 360 was definitely the winner in that generation. I loved my 360. The 360 was great, and the PS3 was cool. But it's I've never been able to stick to a certain one. I've liked all of them.
Yeah, if the PlayStation 5 like knocks it out of the park, I feel like that will I guess I don't want to say hopefully, but I feel like if the PlayStation 5 knocks it out of the park, it very well could turn a lot of people who just went to the PlayStation 4 because maybe they were pissed off the Xbox One, they could turn them into lifers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but if they fumble it because of all this, we don't want to play with anybody else and all the stuff that Xbox One has been doing that's consumer friendly. If they don't start doing similar stuff, it's like those buzzwords are the best. Being able to have all these buzzwords is just so good for Xbox.
This next generation is going to be the most interesting one, I think, because Xbox alone is basically saying, hey, look, we're building this infrastructure, so you don't have to buy the new console that's going to come out because you can play it on your PC, you can play it on your Xbox One, you can play it on Xbox One X.
Right.
And I don't, of course we don't know what PlayStation is going to do, but you would imagine PlayStation 5 is going to have some kind of backwards compatibility with PS4, but it may not. It may not. I mean, I don't see why not, because
it needs to. It absolutely needs to.
Here's the thing. The reason why they didn't do that.
I don't remember if it was you who I talked to about this. I want to say it actually might have been Chuck, but it's like they need to. It's just plain and simple. If they don't, they are shooting themselves in the foot because of even just the emulator that they have for the Xbox One. Like if they don't at least have something like that, and not now doesn't count. Like you have to pay for it. It's not something that's just on the system. So it's like
what are you talking about?
They need PlayStation Now.
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about the emulator for Xbox. Like you don't have to pay for it if you have the games.
Yeah, sorry, Now as in
Yeah, I
the
got you. I
service.
got you.
Yeah. So, anyways, like they can't have that. They can't do that again.
Well, see, here's
I mean,
I don't think
go ahead.
think that there's zero reason why they can't. I mean, there's an obvious reason why you couldn't do that with PS3 to PS4, and that's because Sony fucked up and made the PS3 with a cell processor that no one was able to work with properly, basically. But because the PS4 and Xbox One now, and everybody's talked about this, but because they are basically computers,
Yeah, right.
there's no reason why PS4 to PS5 won't have some sort of backwards compatibility. I mean, they just there's no reason why it won't.
Well, and I mean, one of the biggest omissions, I think, in my personal opinion, is not being able to play PlayStation 1 games on the PlayStation. Like on the PlayStation 3, you could buy PlayStation 1 games, but you couldn't play PlayStation 2 games. Now we have the PlayStation 4 where you can buy PlayStation 2 games, but you can't play PlayStation 1 games. What the fuck?
I mean, from the beginning, their whole online infrastructure was just a shit show. I mean, do you remember the PS3 whenever PSN came out and it was on a web browser?
I do not remember that.
Yeah, so when PSN first came out, it wasn't a dedicated app like it is now on the PS4. It was you know how you have like a phone or a tablet where you can save a web address as an app like on your home screen?
Yeah.
That's exactly how it was. You would click on the store and it would take you to a web browser, and you had a fucking.
I don't remember that. And see, now it's bad because their infrastructure now, I feel like on the PlayStation 3, like, because I went on there to buy Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 because they were like dirt cheap. Oh my god, Mega Man Legends 1 and 2. I really need to play through those. I need to get like an Elgato like you so I can actually like stream it and shit. But oh my god, those freaking games are awesome. Anyways, but I went back on there and it's similar to the PlayStation 4 now, as far as like the way it's set up and everything. But you can tell that they were making it for the PlayStation 4 because it runs like shit. Oh my god. Like just clicking into the next thing, it takes like 10 to 15 seconds just for it to load up. And then you have to wait for the thumbnails to load up. And then oh my God, it would crash like every other time. If I was on there for more than like 5 minutes, guaranteed crash. And I could just be browsing. I could just be browsing what I want to buy, what do I want to download or something like, and it would just freaking crash almost every single time. If I didn't know exactly what I wanted and I went straight to it and I went straight to download, it just crashed. And it was right around the same time, I'd say right before the PlayStation 4 came out. So it's like they were trying to get it ready for the PlayStation 4. And it's just funny because it's like I went back on there not too long ago and it hasn't changed. I mean, granted, yes, there's not going to be that many, infrastructure put onto the PlayStation 3 because they're trying to focus on the PlayStation 4 because it's a goddamn powerhouse. But still, like, you can't just do like a little update to make it so that it actually like freaking works. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, and that just comes down to when they built the infrastructure. I mean, it's the same thing with the PSN name changes. It's like it's so asinine. What is going on with hey, you can change it, but what it actually is, you're not actually changing it. You're basically putting a new name on top of your original name. Right. But if you do that, it could ruin your entire progress that you've had over the past 10 years. And it's like, right. Okay, cool. Like, fuck me, right? I mean, it's
right. I mean, it seems like something so freaking simple as record all the trophies I have, put it on a different freaking server, and let me change my goddamn name. Like, how fucking hard is that? The fact that we went an entire generation, and even now, like we're priming up for a PlayStation 5 announcement, in which, granted, it's still going to be a year and a half until it actually comes out, but that's really not the point. The point is that we're gearing up to talk about the next generation, and we're still not having name changes. Like, it just baffles the mind, especially because there's enough people who would really like it. You know, there's enough like diehard PlayStation fans that would absolutely love to change their name or to just have the option, even if it does cost them $2.99 or something like that. You know,
Xbox is Xbox is. I had to do it. I think 3 times when I had my 360. And
you're bad at choosing names, aren't you?
Well, no. So like twice was because I joined 2 different clans.
Oh, gotcha.
So we changed our names, but it was like it was an easy process. I mean, it was expensive. Like the first one was free, and then like the following 2 were like $10 a piece.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, so
$10 is way too much. Maybe like $4.99.
Especially when you're 13. Yeah, $10 is a lot.
Right, yeah.
To change your name, I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. See, I would love this right now. Mine is The Weiler, and that was like an old nickname that I got when I was like freaking 8 or 9, and so I just used it for my my online thing. But you know, so many people mispronounce it as The Willer or something like that, and so it's just so annoying. So I'd much rather just take it and like do like ThreadX3 or ThreadX3 Nick ThreadX3 Nick TX3, something along those lines. Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's a good one. Whenever PlayStation finally allows me, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's this is the generation that I'm going to be the most interested in and to see what they do.
Yeah, this is in my opinion, this is the make it or break it, because Xbox needs to make it so that maybe they get back people, but PlayStation like almost doubly needs to make it, because they can't let all this goodwill be squandered. And I mean, perfect example is the 360 to the Xbox One. Xbox was on such a high horse. They were so high on themselves that they made the announcement, and one of their representatives was pretty much like, oh, well, if you don't like the online only infrastructure, then we have a system for that. It's called the 360. And that absolute asinine tone that he used for his customers with legitimate complaints was one of the things about their attitude that nobody liked. And it shows. It 100% shows. So people went over the PlayStation because they're like, okay, I'm going to try this out. And I feel like maybe they stayed because they're like, oh, well, there's a shit ton of exclusives over here, and I only see like one a year over on Xbox. So, you know,
which is really funny. Like going to now, there was a recent, I think last week, there was week before last, there was a guy that had put out a report. It was a rumor he had heard, but it was a credible rumor. Like it was from a Business Insider, like an analyst kind of thing. And basically it's that Xbox is working on a diskless Xbox One the Scarlet is I don't know if it was the Scarlet specifically, but this would be a specific SKU. So like, and it's primarily to cut down costs. So like it would be a permanent like $100 or $200 for the console. But in comparison to what you said about, hey, you don't like the online, we have another platform. It's called the 360. Going to now, this is what I thought was outstanding is if you choose to go with the Xbox One that doesn't have a disk drive, they were going to have a program that basically it's like authorized retailers. So like a Microsoft store or something like that. You take your games in and you basically trade the games that you have, and they give you a digital code in return. So you basically turn your physical games. If you want to go with the cheaper SKU and still want to keep the games you have, you just take your games in, and then they'll give you a digital code for that same game in return.
Interesting.
And that's not nearly as tone deaf as the one that they said when the Xbox One was announced. And so it's just so funny to see their strategies change and see the change in leadership, how that actually affected them in the long run.
Yeah, and I mean that's obviously the main problem we're going to have going into the PlayStation 5 is that if Sony keeps up this pig-headedness of them, which remember, you're talking to the Sony pony himself, you know, and I'm 100% willing to admit that they need to stop being so pig-headed. They need to stop putting themselves on this giant, you know, cloud high pedestal. You can be taken over. It happened before the 360 for the simplest miscommunication. and it can happen to them for not doing the right things for their customers. And it's like, it could turn the PlayStation to 5, and it might just, maybe instead of just absolutely powerhouse killing it like they are with the PlayStation 4, I want to say there are at least 2 to 3 times as many PlayStation 4s as there are Xbox Ones.
Yep.
And that very well could either switch, or in the eyes of like the stockholders, the Sony stockholders, or worse, it could be neck and neck. Like, obviously having less money as selling less would be selling just as many, not beating your competition. It would kill them.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
For sure. Wow, this didn't nearly go as I thought. But maybe this could just be a nice short one.
Yeah,
because
we could literally title this Christmas nonsense, and I think it'd be fitting.
Yeah, I don't know what else we could talk about, because I feel like we went through it. You gave your favorite Christmas, I gave my favorite Christmas, and we definitely had fun just bullshitting or whatever.
Talking about balls and free balls.
I'm talking about balls deep. I'm talking about balls deep. I'm talking about balls deep enough.
On that note.
So anyway, I'll mark it here. Like, is there anything else we should talk about, or we can just cut it a little short?
I think that's enough. I think you just outro. I hope everyone has a great Christmas, and see you in the new year.
Yep.
I mean, you could probably say that we've got another episode.
I just marked it again, dude.
You could probably say that we have another episode coming up for our look back. You can maybe bring that up. But
all right, so I think that's going to be it for our Christmas special. It was definitely special.
It was definitely special.
It's definitely special. But thank you so much for listening to this episode. It was obviously, we just wanted to get this out there, get it out to you guys. We wanted to make sure we have at least one podcast per week. We're off doing something. It's Christmas Eve, so I'm probably off with my family. Nate, you're probably off visiting family, so say hi to us on that too. That's a big possibility right there. So make sure to talk to us on Twitter at TX3 Productions, or at Six Sticks, which I'll put that in the description below, because I don't think we've ever. But give us some Christmas wishes and everything, and let us know if you like the episode or not. Also, look out for our next episode. Our next episode will be the Nerd to the Third, a look back, which is pretty much this has been on since. This is episode 20. So when did we start this? August or September?
Nerd to the Third. I will find you, and I will kill you.
Well, we did an E3 thing, so it had to have been
July
before.
7th. July 7th was the first episode, titled "RPGs are long, so prepare your buttholes."
No, that might be wrong, because we started on Anchor. So I uploaded all of them at the same time.
That's right.
So I want to say it could have been even like May.
Yeah, I think May's right.
Yeah. So we've been here on since May, or at least we've been Nerd to the Third since May. We've been many other things. We've been Idaho Couch Potatoes. We've been Deadly Arbiter Grunts. And for a little bit of time, we were the Rocky Mountain Slackers. So now we're going to take a look back at what we've done since we've been Nerd to the Third. So look at that for our next episode. Also, you can look at the video version of this, and there's definitely going to be some interesting things.
This is the raw, uncut, just babble nonsense. Me playing
all
with
right.
a knife.
Yeah, I'll cut you so bad. You wish I didn't cut you so bad. Salad. Fuck you, salad. All right. So thank you so much for joining us, people, and Nate. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I hope you have a Merry Christmas.
Murmur Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right. Thank you for joining us for this Nerd to the Third, where you can always talk nerdy to me. All right, I'll keep that in there.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
And
Like your mother.
oh shit. And stop.
One last of the year.
Jesus Christ. And stop. M3 Chris. I'm titling this M3 Christmas bullshit. Pictures of your dick.
Yep.